Hi friends, it's Product Review Wednesday. What do we have today? It's heavy. Please enjoy my stories or whatever else might be on my mind today. The WattCycle company sent me 3 100 amp hour lithium batteries. I think they weigh, if I read that right, 27 pounds a piece. What's 3 times 27? About 80 pounds. Where's my knife? Here we go. Wait a minute. Get out of here. No, this is a no-bee zone. All right. I agreed to accept these because for a long time I've had a plan. The plan is I have, and I'll show them to you in a minute, 4 very expensive AGM full river batteries. They're 6-volt batteries. I have 4 of them. And 4 6-volt batteries, they're 250 amp hours each. And 250 amp hours each for 4 6-volt Gulf batteries, you wind up with 500 amp hours of use out of, at the time I bought them, which was 4 years ago, it was about $1,600. And they're the best AGM batteries you can get. But 4 of them gives you 500 amp hours at 12 volts. You'd have 1,000 at 6 volts, but they're in parallel and series. So anyway, and with lithium, excuse me. Hello, Janet.
How you doing?
Well, I've been just fine. Hang on a second, Janet.
Okay.
Okay, where were we? We were talking about 500 amp hours out of 4 golf cart 6-volt batteries. And with AGM or lead acid batteries, it's not good for the batteries to go below 50%, which means that out of the $1,600 worth of batteries, I got 250 usable amp hours. So the WattCycle company contacted me and said, hey, we'd like to send you a battery. And I wrote back and I said, well, I need at least something that replaces what I have, which has been my long-term plan. When I put in my other 600 amp hours of lithium batteries, I kept the AGMs, and I have 2 banks and a switch that'll go from one to the other. I'll show you all that stuff in a second. But I told WattCycle, hey, I can't replace 4 batteries with 1 battery, but I need at least 300 amp hours. Well, they sent me 300 amp hours. Let's see what we got here. There's a owner's manual and a business card for WattCycle. Another reason that I agreed to do these is that it's a new battery for them, and it's small. It's like a Group 24 size. So you can see the box looks like the size that batteries in the past would be, and look how much smaller that is. That is considerably smaller than other 100 amp hour batteries on the market. That's why they call it the WattCycle 12 volt 100 amp hour mini. I want to measure them. Hang on a second. It's 6 inches wide, actually 5 3/4 by 9, actually 8 7/8. So 6 by 9 and 8.5 inches high. Now let's go out and look at the batteries they're going to replace. Those 3 WattCycle batteries will give me more usable amp hours than these 4 full river 6 volts. These things also weigh about 80 pounds apiece. That's 320 pounds versus the 80 pounds that will give me 50 amp hours more usable battery power. Now my tray is 17.5 by 20. So let's figure this out. Those smaller batteries, and again, this is what really attracted me to them. Those smaller batteries, I can fit. I'm going to have to figure this out. I'll be right back. Okay, I figured it out. They're ½ inch too long to go doubles that way, but because they're shorter, I'm sitting up on top of the tray, and they're the same height as the full river AGMs, which means that I can set them up on top, and I can come that ½ inch over, so I can do 2, 4, 6 of these because they're so much smaller. And 6 of those is 600 amp hours, which is the replacement of those, which is 250 amp hours. That's an amazing. Plus I'll have 80 pounds instead of 320 pounds. Wow. So I've got 3. I'll buy 3 more because the price of these is good too. And we're going to give you and me a discount on more batteries. Well, here's another comparison. That little battery is 100 amp hours. And 2 of these are 125. Wow. So there's your 3 batteries. And yes, you get the bolts and the protective red and black caps that go into there. Let's weigh those. I brought my scale out here. We have to carry a bathroom scale in our motorhome because when we fly back and forth to Mexico, I have to weigh our suitcases. Oh my gosh. It says 20 pounds. I've been saying 27. They actually weigh 20 pounds. So 3 of them are 60 pounds compared to 320 pounds for the AGMs they're going to replace with even more power. Let me go get the battery switch that I'm going to use for these. Actually, I decided to take you to the switch instead of bring the switch to you. Hello, Lynn.
Hello.
How's Lynn today?
Lynn's fine.
Good. I'm working on a video for my friends. I have the new switch. It's right here. The old switch. Now, my 600 amp hours of lithiums are back in there, so they're in an interior space. And I didn't spend the extra money for the ones that protect themselves against being charged in cold weather. That is, they shut down themselves for charging if it gets down to be too cold. And while I'm talking about it and thinking about it, that's another reason that I agreed to accept these WattCycle batteries, because they have the battery management system that shuts them down in cold weather for charging to protect themselves. I couldn't put the ones I already have outside in that battery compartment, which is one of the reasons I wound up with two different banks, the AGMs and the lithiums both. But these new batteries, they do protect themselves. So I can put them in that outside compartment. So there's the switch, which hooks me up to either bank 1 or bank 2. And I wrote a note on the wall: shut off the solar breakers when switching from number 2, the AGMs, to number 1, the lithiums, because you don't want solar panels hooked up to a charger with no battery. That's the old switch and has position 1, position 2. This is the new switch. So it has position 1, position 2, but down at the bottom it's also 1 plus 2. And of course I can totally shut them off when I'm putting the vehicle in storage. Well, friends, it's a couple of days later and I have found a fly in the ointment, a flaw in my plan. Turns out I am not going to use this new switch. It's not a good idea to hook up new lithium batteries with old lithium batteries, especially of different brands with different BMSs, battery management systems. So I'm still going to have two banks, which isn't a really big deal. I have gotten used to using two banks anyway, and the new bank of lithiums replacing the AGMs are going to be much easier to charge with my solar or my generator. They're going to be much more serviceable in terms of being able to utilize the amp hours that they contain compared to the AGMs. And with regard to switching back and forth, I've been doing that for a couple of years anyway. I do it at night. I don't even have to shut off the solar things because I do it at night. There's no solar power in the dark. So if I want to charge one bank or the other, I use this switch down here. Let me show it to you again. This switch switches from one bank to the other bank. So the only change I'm going to have to make, besides hooking up the lithiums outside in that tray, is this. L2 out, and this is L1 in. Well, I had to move my flashlight because it was right there where I needed to put my phone to talk to you a little bit more. Have you seen my flashlight? Let's see here. There's a flashlight. Don't want to shine it in your eyes. But if you come to me in the night and you're causing trouble, that's what you get. Hi, friends. Well, we've moved again. We are now at Picacho Peak State Park, north of Tucson. That is Picacho Peak. I've been using my new WattCycle batteries, these 12-volt, 100-amp-hour minis, that I replaced the 4 big, heavy AGMs with. They've been performing flawlessly, and they've been charging perfectly from my solar. Couldn't be happier. With a rig this size, 300 amp hours is okay. It's not optimal, but the old AGMs only had 250 usable. I could use a little more if I didn't care about taking care of the batteries, but you know, lead acid and AGM, you only want to use about 50%. This conglomeration of stuff back here allows me to tell what's going on with the batteries inside there in the bedroom. And what's going on is I'm a happy camper. What's not to like? Check out links below for a great price and a discount. Thanks for being with me today. Hey, if you like me, give me one of those thumbs up. And please subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when I post next. Please share me with your friends on social media. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed what was on my mind today.